this is a good one. Let's talk watches. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Timeless Sneakers and Watches. Fam, we're back at it again, and this one is a banger. This one is good. Huge shout out and thank you to Adam over at Belmont Watches. Adam, you have been an amazing support to this channel, and a lot of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for your friendship, your partnership, and your trust. And so I want to say thank you so much once again, providing me with this beautiful piece to overview, to look at, and share with YouTube. Guys, if you guys are in the market for a new piece, please consider Belmont Watches. I promise you, they are top notch from customer service and to the options that they have available. They get everything from your Seiko to your higher end pieces. And if you guys are searching for something specifically, Adam does a great job and has a great network to help you find that piece that maybe you're searching for and maybe they don't have available at this moment. The link to their website will be down below. Check them out. As sad as I am to say,
no, God, please, no!
This piece will be available. After this, it will be sent back to Belmont and it will be available for a lucky buyer / collector. And it pains me to say that because I truly have fallen in love with this piece. And so, yeah, let's get into this review and let's talk watches. So this review, I wanted to do a little bit differently. I wanted to do it a little bit more just us talking, having a drink. If you have something, join me. And there's tons of reviews out there on this Sla037, and so nothing I could say would be any different. Nothing, you guys would probably hear about the same thing as far as the specs. So Sla037, obviously part of the trio that Seiko brought out to celebrate their 55th anniversary. And this one, obviously, right, being a reissue of the 62 Mas. They did such a phenomenal job in every aspect. Everything from the metals they used to the finishing to the movement. I mean, everything about this piece is great.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Now, obviously, a little bit bigger than the original. This one here measures at about 39 millimeters, give or take. I think lug to lug is a little longer. It's about 47 millimeters. And I believe the thickness runs right about 14 millimeters. But it wears phenomenal. I wore my SPB 145, which was the Seiko Boutique Edition, when they released the 143, the 145, the 147, and the Special Edition 149. I, was lucky enough through Belmont to pick up this Boutique Edition, and it is beautiful. But when I put it next to the SLA, you see all the shortcomings from the SPBs. And not necessarily in a negative way, because I still think the SPBs are beautiful watches. I think that they are a great recreation, as Seiko said, of what they're supposed to be. Obviously, the SLA being a reissue of what the original 62 Mas was. Obviously, it plays tribute closer to what it really was. Both beautiful watches, and believe me, I love this SPB 145. Review on this watch coming soon, because I know there's really no videos out there on this Boutique Edition. And obviously with that chocolate tropical dial, I mean, I think they killed it. But when you put it next to the SLA, I mean, you can just see the watchmaking that went into this piece. Again, and you'll probably hear me say this over and over, Seiko did not hold back.
Friends holding me. You lucky, because I'll tear your head off. Don't hold me back. Don't hold me back. Oh, okay. Then go for it.
And just because it says Seiko on the dial, don't be fooled, guys. You are literally holding a Seiko branded dial, but you're holding a Grand Seiko. And that is from, again, materials used to finishes to the movements. I mean, they killed it, guys. Now, Seiko, for this 62 Moss reissue on this 037, they used a metal they call their Ever Brilliant metal. And let me tell you guys, this thing just shines. Definitely has that white gold look to it. It is a lighter, or I should say brighter metal, which just looks great. I really, really loved it. And I think what stands out even more is just how they finished the watch. And I mean, not just the case. I mean, they went as far as doing an amazing job on even the buckle. The buckle is polished with, you know, God, it's just finished amazingly. And so, right, Grand Seiko, we said. So Sla037 polishing on the case. I think what blows my mind, and I think what gives this watch even more of an elegant look, is the Sla037 polishing on the chapter ring that is inside. I mean, that thing is a mirror. It is legit a mirror. And obviously the way it reflects with the indices and the dial, when that sun hits it, guys, it is amazing on just how that looks. You know, obviously when I compare it to my SPB 145, you know, they didn't use a Sla037 polished chapter ring, right? It's more almost brushed. Even the indices, guys, and I don't know if this is a fact, but it looks like it. I mean, it looks like those indices, those hands, that seconds hand, were finished to that Sla037 polishing level, because again, the way that they glisten just in normal light or when the sun hits it, I mean, it looks fantastic. You know, when you compare it to the 145 or just the SPB line, you know, you get some polishing on these hands, but unfortunately it's not to the same finish. And you can see the difference when you see them side by side. Another little feature that I thought was amazing was the date wheel. I mean, the date wheel looks to the naked eye from, you know, the wrist, right, as maybe it would be white. But no, guys, that wheel is a silver wheel. And I love that they did that. And that's the stuff you find in a Grand Seiko. And I know because I have a Grand Seiko that I was comparing it to, and it's the same date wheel finish. It has a silver finish to it, which again just ties in perfectly with the indices, the high polish indices. I mean, just the way it transitions and everything just falls into place is amazing. You know, I love that they used a slightly bigger crown. I love that they signed it and it says Seiko. You know, I wish they would have signed the SPB. Granted, I know this is a Prospex line. You know, we're paying $1,200, you know, maybe $1,300 for these watches. You know, this one here is retail well over $6,000. So I get it, right? And you know, I said it earlier, they didn't hold back. So nice to see the crown, right, being signed. The bezel movement, beautiful, smooth, buttery. You know, just what you expect from Seiko, and it lines up. I know people are gonna be asking, so does it line up? It does. And it also lines up on the SPB 145. I think Seiko's getting better at that. I think, you know, they hear us saying, oh, it should be normal, and it shouldn't. And I think they're starting to realize that, because the last handful of Seikos I've personally handled, QC issues that I've, you know, seen have, you know, dropped. I don't see as many, and so that's a good thing. But that dial, guys, that blue gray dial that they used for this piece just makes it that much more beautiful. I took pictures of this watch for my for IG, and if you guys, you know, haven't followed me on IG, definitely check out my IG. I post a lot of these watches there beforehand, so you guys can get a sneak peek. You know, Timeless Sneakers and Watches, shameless plug. But when I was shooting this watch, I mean, some pictures it looked more blue, and other pictures it was like a gray / teal / turquoise. I mean, it is just a beautifully done dial. And I love this color, and I think that's what I'm going to miss the most, is that bluish, grayish color that they used. And also this rubber strap. The color to this does so well in matching that color for the dial. I mean, overall, it's just a great package, guys. And man, there's really no complaints. I dare say this is nearly a perfect watch, because that's how good it is. And again, I think I mentioned this earlier, right? This is really a Grand Seiko. You are holding a Grand Seiko in your hand. And Seiko went as far as actually using a Grand Seiko movement. Granted, Seiko's calling it they call it their 8L55. I believe that's what it is, 8L55, which in reality is the Grand Seiko movement, I want to say from 2009, the 9S85, I believe. And I mean, Seiko even went as far as finishing and decorating the movement. So when you guys take a look at the movement behind this case back, I mean, it's beautifully finished. Maybe not to, you know, a Grand Seiko level, because it doesn't have Grand Seiko right on the dial or on the movement, but Seiko didn't hold back. They decorated the movement, and it looks phenomenal. You know, 55 hours of power reserve at a high beat of 36,000 BPH. I mean, the way this hand just sweeps, it is just something amazing to look at. You know, and obviously when I look back down at my wrist and I look at the 145, you know, and it's beating at 21,000, it's a huge difference, right? I can almost see the stutter in slow motion, versus when I look at this, it's right below a spring drive, right? I mean, 36,000, 55 hours power reserve. That is a great movement. The winding, buttery smooth, guys. I mean, just like a Grand Seiko. And again, I know this because I have a Grand Seiko that I was comparing it to. The winding action is the same, and they killed it. They killed it. This watch is truly meant for either a Seiko collector or someone who's really going to appreciate what they're holding. And in this case, guys, I think obviously this piece being limited to 1,100 pieces, these are going to get harder and harder to get. 1,100 pieces is nothing. And as true Seiko collectors get these pieces, they're not going to want to let them go. And shoot, I don't blame them. This thing is amazing. And so just wanted to share this with you guys. Wanted to share some thoughts. I think that this piece, yes, it says Seiko, but you are getting Grand Seiko quality. You know, we complain about Seiko not producing higher quality, sometimes watches, or we complain about the little things. So we shouldn't complain, guys, when they literally went balls to the wall and gave us a masterpiece of a watch. I mean, God, it's so beautiful to look at. It really is. Adam, I'm so bummed out. I got to send this back to you. But someone is going to be very, very, very lucky. And whoever that is, enjoy this beautiful piece. Guys, again, this is available for sale at a steal. You're not going to be paying retail. So check out Belmont Watches. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, it was more relaxed, just sharing some thoughts and what I personally think of this beautiful piece. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, till next time. Peace.